Walt Disney and Pixar set the measure for 2D and 3D animation. While Japan has crossed all the conventional barriers with its anime and is constantly stretching its limits in this form of entertainment, but when it comes to the Indian animation industry, it is still struggling to get the basics right. It is still struggling to understand the true potential of this medium. And most importantly, it is still struggling to embrace this art. But why is that? Well, sure, there are multiple reasons behind it, but today, let's explore one of the most crucial factors responsible for keeping Indian animation behind. Animation is undoubtedly the most flexible form of filmmaking, with the ability to go beyond the expected and truly justify your imagination without any limitations, boundaries, or complications of physical and technical resources. In short, a perfect medium to explore stories, subject matter, and character development. But despite its liberty to look beyond conventional filmmaking, India is still not able to impress the globe with the quality of homegrown productions. And why is that? Well, sure, it's easier to jump to the conclusion and blame the budget, creators, and the lack of the latest technologies for the condition of Indian content. But let's not point out the obvious today, as we really need to look deeper in order to find one of the most vital faults in the regional content. We really need to stop turning our heads and quit pretending as if we don't see, because the real issue is embedded within us. Yes, animation is often overlooked by Indian audiences, as it generally comes with a connotation of childishness. Unlike in Japan, where anime is such an integral part of their culture, Indians are still unable to delve deeper into this vast world of cartoons and are unwilling to explore outside usual live-action films and TV shows. Americans at one point had the same thick attitude towards animation, but constant attention and open-mindedness towards the art by a large number of audiences forced the makers to come up with better concepts that can appeal to everyone with a soul and hunger for great stories. Some time ago, the #1 YouTuber PewDiePie reacted sarcastically on one of the most popular Indian animated shows and pointed out some technical, creative, and conceptual absurdities that anyone with a basic understanding of this medium can identify. But what's most bothering is that he was shocked that Indians are exposing our kids to such content.
The shit they show the kids these days.
Which we as viewers and specifically as parents should not ignore. But guess what? We did ignore it. Generally, when someone passes a ridiculing opinion towards India and things related to it, we are quick to respond, attack, and defend. But this time nobody came to the rescue. You know why? Because PewDiePie was right to a great extent. But not wholly right. Sure, most Indian shows look below par and are more quantity-driven than quality. Still, it does not mean that we don't have the potential to be amongst the best, as Indian artists had proven in the past, when one of the homemade films was running the race for being in the Academy Awards. Yes, for many, it might come as a surprise, but in 2011, a 3D animated film named Alpha and Omega, that was produced in Mumbai by Crest Animation Studio, was included in the list of movies eligible for Oscar nominations. Unfortunately, it didn't manage to go ahead in the nomination race, and much deserving Toy Story 3 got the honors that year. Still, competing and finding a spot between the likes of Disney, Pixar, and DreamWorks is a great achievement on its own, although the Academy was kind enough to acknowledge the measure of the efforts that went into making this film. But unfortunately, in India, it was brutally slammed by critics, stating it as dull, predictable, and unimpressive, and was entirely neglected by the audiences. I know, it's not all dependent on the viewers, but the creators have certain responsibilities as well. Hence, we really need to find a way to bring a balance to our content that the audience can relate to and care about. In the end, all we can say is if we want to bring a revolution in Indian animation, then we as audiences need to alter our approach towards the art and demand a better quality product by raising our voices against the current supply, as we do with the live-action films and television soap operas. And more importantly, show full support and faith in the highly talented local artists and creators. Because India has the potential, India has the talent, and India has the passion. All it needs is you, all it needs is your attention, and all it needs is your love. Because once you will get involved, step by step, little by little, Indian animation will be there at the grandest stage of all, that is, the Oscars. To read the full article on which this video is based, please click on the link given in the description. And one of the best ways to support Indian artists and animation is by subscribing to this channel.